Is this thing on? Are you on? What is up, fam? My name is Scott Bartnick. You can find me on Instagram at FoundScott. So I'm gonna do a quick intro to who I am. I've never done that before. I've been in business for about 3 years. Just kind of want to cover what it's been like, my work-life balance, what I've done, my travel life. For anyone that follows me on Instagram, you'll see all the travel. A lot of you guys probably have questions about kind of lifestyle and travel and owning your own business and how that works. So I actually spent the last year in Southeast Asia. I went all over the place. I did Hawaii, I did New Zealand, I did Australia, I did the Philippines, I did Thailand, I did Indonesia, I did China, I did Malaysia, then I floated around the US for a little bit, and now I just landed in Orlando. But the important part of that is I was able to work and build my business the entire time. So even in a service-based business in the United States, I'd stay up late or wake up early and make phone calls. I would automate processes so I didn't have to be awake for them to work. I hired freelancers that worked in the United States to help manage phone calls and things like that while we were getting started to help bring in customers. And then as I finally grew and hit the numbers that I needed, I was able to actually hire someone full-time to basically run the business. I was doing all of this in hostels. So most of the time I was traveling, I lived in hostels, which means a shared room. Sometimes they were really nice, sometimes they were really dirty, sometimes they were partying and loud, sometimes they weren't. But I'll tell you that I still managed to work 8 to 12 hours a day, socialize, travel the world, see different things. That's really what I wanted to do. Is I knew that I wanted to build a business, I wanted to be successful, and I wanted to work for myself. But I also, super important to see the world and live a different lifestyle and kind of change my perspective and realize that you could live off of less. I mean, I dumped everything I owned. I sold 90% of it. Really lived a different lifestyle out of a suitcase, but able to start my business at the same time. So I guess the message to you is, if you really want to start your business and you want to grow as a person, take a chance. You don't have to go 100% in right away. You can still work full time and start a side business. A lot of people call that your side hustle. And the idea is you hit a certain goal and you make that side hustle your main hustle. So for me, I had a very low goal. My goal was, outside of the business I owned with a partner, I wanted to make another business that would bring in $10 a day. $10 a day was all I needed to live in Vietnam. I'm actually very lucky. I hit that about 3 days after I set my goal. Quit my job and booked an international flight one way, and then it took me about a year to come back, and here I am talking to you guys. All right, so my background, I'm an industrial and systems engineer with a minor in sales from the University of Florida. And for you guys that don't really know what that means, I did a lot of math and science, but around business. I actually work corporately for Eaton Corporation, which is a multi-billion-dollar company, engineering firm that does electrical manufacturing equipment. And so I worked on the plant floor for a couple of years, and then I worked as a supervisor and manager and built my way up, and then I ended up doing sales for a while. So I kind of want to cover how I started my first business. So it's a really big, scary thing for everyone to think about their first business, how to get started, the money. It costs so much money to start, and you're so unsure whether it's going to work, and then you don't know if you should take your money out of the market, what you're going to do there. So I actually read a book, The 4-Hour Workweek by Tim Ferriss. I was driving to Colorado, and I had the audio tape. It was about a 14-hour drive. The audio tape, I think, about 15 hours. And I actually listened to the entire book all the way through, sat in my car for an extra hour to finish the book, because to me, it just changed my eyes on how life was supposed to be lived and how I should be investing my time. Before, I was all about the corporate path. And so this book really gave me this idea of just business in general. Like, I just knew I wanted to start a business. If you like anything I had to say, stay tuned for coming up videos. We're gonna focus heavy on Amazon, private label, and supply chain. So if you guys have any questions, you can always follow me at FoundScott on Instagram, or email me, check out the website, there'll be a link in the bio. I appreciate everyone's follow. Thank you guys, really appreciate your time. I'll see you next time.